All right, guys, this is the first video that I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of background with. You know that we have a decimal place after the ones, and you know that tenths and hundredths follow, and I'm sure that your teacher has told you that thousandths follow that. It's kind of a pattern. You have that one all by itself with the decimal, but then you have tenths and tens, hundredths and hundreds, thousandths and thousands. So it continues on that pattern with 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths, right? So it keeps going down the line. So what we're learning about today is we're going to learn about multiplying and dividing, but using decimals. So we're looking at multiplying and dividing, but with decimals as well. So that's our goal today. I want you to have a notebook that you can work in, and if you don't have a notebook, I have a bunch of scrap paper. Go ahead and pause while you go ahead and grab that. So what you're going to run into today is you're going to run into problems that fall on your place value chart. And if you remember, when you do times 10, you're shifting to the left because times 10 means that we shift as just one place, because when you multiply every little piece by 10, it has to be bundled. So for example, if I had 57 and I want to do 57 times 10, well, 5 times 10 is 50, and I can't have 50 here. So we have to bundle it into groups of 10, which shifts us over 1, because I have 5 groups of 10, so it just shifts us 1. Because you guys already know that, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the fact that you know when you multiply by 10, you shift once. When you multiply by 100, you shift twice. By 1,000, you shift 3 times, and you just keep shifting based off of your zeros, right? Because when you multiply by 10, that's 10, 100, 1,000, that's what happens. Now when we divide, you guys know that we go the other direction, division. 57 divided by 10. Well, what we've done in the past is we've said, oh, that's about 5. Well, we don't need to do that anymore because now we have decimals. So decimals need to take place here because when you divide by 10, we know in the past we just shift back, because when I divide this 5, I have to unbundle it and end up with 50 here, or 5 51s, and then divide by 10, which would give me 5. So we know we shift backwards when we divide by 10. So now what happens, this guy's going to shift a little further because there's a decimal there, is our 5 goes in our ones place and our 7 goes in our tenths place. So 57 divided by 10 would be 5 and 7 tenths. All right, so now that you see that, let's go ahead and practice a couple. Let's imagine we have the number 4,605 and 2 tenths. If I were to multiply that by 10, what do we do? Well, if I did 2 times 10, it'd be 20. 5 times 10, it'd be 50, etc. And I can't have 20 here. So I have to shift to the left. 20 tenths is the same as 2 ones. So times 10 means we shift every single one of these over. So my new number becomes 46,052. All right, I'm going to give you one that I want you to practice. This is going to be multiplication as well. All right, here's the problem. Let's say I have 724 and 32 hundredths. Go ahead and multiply that by 10. Pause while you do this so that you don't see my answer too quick. All right, so hopefully when you said times 10, you shifted everything one place. So your new number should be 7,243 and 2 tenths. If you got that, well done. Let's say we wanted to multiply times 100. Let's say I have 29 and 6 tenths times 100. Go ahead and pause while you figure out what that would be. Remembering, times 10 was 1 shift, times 100 is 2 because of those 2 zeros. Go ahead and pause. hopefully you found that times 100 takes you 2 spots. And you have 2 now thousands, because it would have been 200 tens, which is 2 thousands, 9 hundreds, and 6 tens, which gives you the number 2,960. And there is no tenths or hundredths. All right, let's go ahead and do some division. Let's say we have 45,621. Divide, and 5 tenths. Let's say we want to divide it by 10. Well, when we divide, our number obviously gets smaller. We need to go backwards, because if I divide 4 10,000s by 10, I have to unbundle first, so it'd be 40 thousands. Divided by 10 would be 4. So everything shifts back just once, because I'm dividing by 10, which has that 1 0. So my new number would become 4,562 and 15 hundredths. See how we did that? All right, let's go ahead and try one where you guys try it on your own. Let's try 7,403 and 7 tenths. Go ahead and pause while you divide this by 10. Well, this is a comma. So hopefully you realized that dividing by 10, we shift everything one space, because I divide by 10, and this should have been your answer. If you got it, great. If not, you might want to come see me. All right, let's imagine, give you a new number, and this time we're going to divide by 100. All right, so let's say that we have this time 25 and 64. Nope, 25 and 6 tenths. And we're dividing by 100. 25 and 6 tenths divided by 100. Don't forget, we have those thousandths. Go ahead and pause while you figure this one out. So since I divided by 100, I shift over twice to the right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So my 2 goes here, my 5 goes here, my 6 goes here. Look it. I now no longer have any holes. I only have decimal 256, and that would be read 256 thousandths. Today you're going to be asked a couple of word problems, and those word problems use phrases like 100 times as many or 10 times as many. That just means times 10 or times 100. But the one you're not familiar with is one that's going to say something as 1/10 or 1/100th or 1,000th. So it's going to look like this: 1/10, 1/100th, or 1,000th. When you see that, that usually means that you're using division. So if I say that Mr. Barnes is 1/10, or Mrs. Barnes is 1/10 as large as Mr. Barnes, that means that I'm less than him. So let's say that Mr. Barnes weighed 574 pounds and 6 tenths. I know, poor Mr. Barnes. I am 1/10 of that. Well, I don't weigh more than him. I weigh less than him because I'm 1/10 of him. So everything shifts one time. So I actually weigh 57 and 46 hundredths because I weigh 1/10 of him, which means I'm smaller. 1/100th, I would shift 2 times. 1/1000th, I'd shift 3, and so on. All right, so here's your job. You need to work with a partner. I don't care which partner you pick. Today, let's see how it works out. And you need to work on the problem set, which is on Notability. There are 3 pages. Please make sure that you work carefully on that together, and then we'll talk about what you do next. Good luck.